All right, welcome in. What's Right with Nick Wright, episode 146. After an insane day in the NBA playoffs, we have the NFL draft tonight. Apologies for those of you watching us live on YouTube. Hopefully you're able to watch us live on YouTube right now. We had some slight technical difficulties, but we have too big of a show to let that derail us. Here is what did not make the cut for today's show. Not on today's show is the great news, however, that John Mechie is returning to the field, the Texans draft pick last year. Cincinnati picking up Joe Burrow's option. Washington, in my opinion, shockingly declining Chase Young's option. I understand he has dealt with significant injuries, but this was the number 2 overall pick, the defensive rookie of the year. To turn down his option is shocking to me. And Kawhi Leonard, it's not shocking, it is wildly unfortunate, tears his meniscus. However, none of that is the lead. Last night in the NBA playoffs involved the Warriors showing they're still the champs, the Lakers falling flat, bing bong, the Knicks dispatching of the Cavs in 5. However, we can't lead with any of those stories because Diorra, one of the most shocking first-round upsets and one of the most shocking consecutive fourth quarters I've ever seen from a title favorite happened. Let's get right into it. Diorra, where are we starting?
Okay, so the Bucks are out.
Yes.
For the second game in a row, playoff Jimmy dragged the Heat back from the dead. It's the first time a number 1 seed has lost to a play-in team. Was this more legacy solidifying for Jimmy Butler or legacy damning for Giannis?
All right, Jimmy Butler in this series was almost as good as any player has ever been in any series. I know that sounds crazy, but when you consider the fact that the Heat were one of the lowest scoring teams in basketball in the regular season, they lost their second best scorer for the series in the first game of this series. They lost Victor Oladipo in the fourth game of this series, or the third or fourth game of this series. They were playing the number 1 seed with the previously unanimously accepted best player alive. And Jimmy Butler averaged 38, 6, and 5 on 60% from the field and 44% from 3. It's unprecedented that Jimmy Butler in these last 2, I'll just give you his numbers in each of the 5 games against the 1 seed Bucks, who were double-digit favorites last night and minus 1,200 favorites for the series. Game 1, 35-11, win. Game 2, 25 points and a loss. And then in the 3 straight wins, 30 points in game 3. Then Giannis comes back. The Bucks are on the brink. The Bucks are up 12 points midway through the fourth quarter of game 4. Jimmy, 56-9, and last night, 42-8. The Heat were down 16 in the fourth. He dragged them back. He forced overtime with a buzzer beater. He played 46 minutes. That is 98 points in consecutive playoff games. The second most in NBA history to Michael Jordan's 99 points back in the 93 postseason. Jimmy Butler took this team to the finals 3 years ago. Last year, Game 7 Eastern Conference Finals, and now has upset the Bucks. All credit to Jimmy. He is a dominant playoff performer. He is a superstar. He is without question one of the top 10, maybe top 8 guys you would want for a postseason run. Now to the bigger story, which is the Bucks. This is not legacy defining for Giannis, but it goes on the resume. You were the 1 seed. You lost in round 1 in 5. And we'll talk big picture stuff with Giannis in a moment. But this game last night, the Heat deserve credit. Spo deserves credit. Jimmy obviously deserves credit. Also, I cannot remember in sports a time where a coach in real time panicked and froze more than we saw Mike Budenholzer last night. So, some context on the end of that game. The Bucks are up 2, right? Now, actually, let me back up a little. Well, they're up 1. They almost turned the ball over. Probably should have been a turnover. They call a foul on Kyle Lowry. The Heat challenge gets overturned, jump ball. The Bucks win the tip. And then Giannis, my guy, who struggled mightily from the free throw line last night, 10 of 23, 13 misses, was so nervous about shooting free throws, he tried to throw the ball away again. That then led to Drew Holiday's save, or Chris Middleton's save. Drew Holiday gets it. Drew Holiday goes 1 of 2 from the line. The Heat draw up a brilliant play. Butler catches it, tosses it in while falling backwards. It's now a tie game. There was half a second left, and the Bucks had a timeout. If you call timeout, you get to advance the ball to half court. Instead, Bud just stood there. They inbound the ball. They don't even get a shot off. That's a disaster. It can't happen. There is no reason not to call timeout there other than you were panicked. But the problem even with the panic is you have to know in the huddle before the Heat have their final possession. If they score, we are calling timeout. He must have thought if they score, there won't be enough time. So be it. It's still impossibly bad. Then at the end of the game, you don't get a shot off, and your season ends with the ball in Grayson Allen's hands. Grayson Allen, with him not taking a shot. Once again there, the Bucks had 2 timeouts. Could have drawn something up. If you want to let them run in transition, so be it. But once you see the play has devolved to the point that Grayson Allen has the ball with your season on the line, you must call timeout. I would not be surprised if Bud gets fired for this. I know he won a championship 2 years ago. Nick Nurse won a championship 3 years ago. He was let go this week. Frank Vogel won a championship. Well, hold on. So I guess Nick Nurse won a championship 4 years ago. He was fired this week. Frank Vogel won a championship 3 years ago. He was fired before the season. Bud won a championship 2 years ago. Tough times, man. Tough times. Now on Giannis and the legacy stuff. I have been saying, and I think smart people agree, that it is not a debate who the best player in the world is. It's Giannis. Dominant defensive player, unstoppable offensive force. And it has always irritated me when people are like, oh, he can't shoot. Because who gives a shit if he can't shoot when he's that effective? Super efficient, no one can stop him from getting to the basket. And last night, he damn near had a 40 and 20, so it's hard to lay it all at his feet. However, last night, and in this series, his inability to create a shot and his free throw woes, which we saw him go 17 of 19 in a finals game to win the title and score 50, his free throw woes were so bad in this series that for the first time, his inability to shoot really cost them. And so we've got to wait and see how the rest of these playoffs finish out. And I obviously don't believe the Warriors are going to win the title. But if they do, I think Steph Curry gets to claim I'm the best player in the world. That was no super team last year. They won the title. If they win it again with Giannis in 2 straight years going out in second round and round 1, I think Steph might get the throne. If the Nuggets win the title, Jokic maybe has a claim. the point I am making is Giannis didn't have to win the title in order to keep best player alive as undeniably his. But going out in round 1 in 5, blowing back-to-back double-digit fourth-quarter leads against an 8-seeded Heat team that lost one play-in game to the Hawks and damn near lost a second play-in game to the Bulls. Yikes, man. That's a tough one. I love the guy. And now everyone's talking about his post-game comments. Diorra, what's our question there?
So, what do you think about his comments about failure after the game?
So, he was asked by Eric Nem, I'm not sure, do you consider this season a failure? And he gave a very long, interesting answer, and he seemed to be very frustrated with the question. And one of the things he said was Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 titles, were 9 of those years failures. And he said, basically,
such a good guy.
He is a great guy. I love Giannis. And he seemed genuine and earnest. Also, this season, by any fair definition, was a failure. It's not as reductive as there's 30 teams, one team wins the title, 29 teams don't, 29 teams failed. That's not what I'm saying. There are different levels of success or failure. So I would argue, let's take the Dallas Mavericks. Last year, the Mavericks did not win the title. They made it to the Western Conference Finals. Last year was a massive success for them, even though they didn't win the title. They overachieved somewhat. They went on a deep playoff run. This year, they didn't even make the playoffs. It's an unmitigated failure. The 04 Lakers made it all the way to the finals and then got routed in the finals. I think that season for them, it was the last year of Shaq and Kobe together. They had brought in Malone. They had brought in Peyton. They put all their eggs in that basket. For them, it was championship or bust. Anything short of a championship for that team would have been a failure. Last year, Celtics made it to the finals, lost, massive successful season. There's nuances to this. There is no nuance to this. You are the Vegas favorite. You are the number 1 seed. You have theoretically the best player in the world. He is back for game 4. You are up double digits in the fourth quarter. You lose. He is back for game 5. At home, you are up 16 in the fourth quarter. You lose. That is a failure. If I said, there's going to be a vote taken, best sports talk show in the world. I want First Things First to win it. And in the first round of the voting, I get routed by somebody's cable access stream show. That's a failure. There's a lot of athletes coming to Giannis's defense. Giannis is a great dude, one of my favorite players ever. And I understand what he's saying in theory. Every result this season that could have ended with them not winning the title would not have been, by definition, a failure, right? If they make the conference finals and Joel Embiid, the year he wins MVP, goes crazy and they knock out the Bucks and he's just better, I don't know that I'd call that failure. Disappointing, fell short of your hopes, but not a failure. Losing in round 1 as a 1 seed, I'm going to do this off the top of my head, but the only 1 seeds to lose to 8 seeds. The 94 Nuggets beat the Sonics in a best of 5. The 99 Knicks beat the Heat in the strike year or lockout year in a best of 5. I know the We Believe Warriors beat the Mavericks in 07. I know the Grizzlies beat the Spurs in 10 or 11. The Bulls lost as a 1 seed in a year that Derrick Rose blew out his knee, and I'm leaving 1 or 2 out. But it's only happened like 7 or 8 times. It is a failure. It doesn't mean you're a failure as a person, as a basketball player, as anything. Your season was a failure. And it is, this to me, just sidebar before we get to the other stuff, this to me is where at times social media can turn into, Diorra, a bit of like groupthink, what Dan Le Batard would call Captain Easy stance. So this reporter says, was your season a failure? Giannis gives a thoughtful answer, and everyone, the ball starts rolling downhill on, that reporter's a clown, Giannis is the greatest. And everyone starts kind of parroting the same opinion. When I think privately, anyone that's a sports fan says, hey, would you consider this Bucks season when you had to, if you bet $100 on the Bucks to win this series, you would have won $7. That's how big of a favorite they were. And they lost in 5 to a Miami Heat team that lost Tyler Hero in game 1. Would you consider that a failure? Everyone would say yes, of course. So I love Giannis. Go ahead.
Nothing.
No, speak on it.
No, I was just going to say, you really can talk about the Bucks for an hour, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I said on my
He spent the entire timer talking about the Bucks.
Is it one of the craziest? If you guys don't know what Diorra was referring to, she heard me do my conference call for First Things First today, and we were talking about what's going to be in the show because there's so much to discuss. And I said I could talk about this Bucks game for 6 hours. I mean, there's things we haven't even gotten to. But, yeah. I mean, it's a historic upset. And Giannis's comments were interesting, and Jimmy Butler's unbelievable. And it was out of this world. All right, and also, I don't want to talk that much about the Lakers, so I kind of filibustered. Next!
On TV, you said that the keys to the Lakers winning were a big AD game and Triple J getting in foul trouble.
Yep, check.
Well, both happened.
I also said, and Dylan Brooks taking a bunch of threes and kind of getting booed. That happened too.
And the Lakers still lost.
Yeah, they did. Got blown out.
Could it be because LeBron was shooting at Russell Westbrook levels?
Okay. Go
Is that too mean?
No, I mean, well, just go ahead and finish your silly question.
What I meant to say is, was it because he was shooting at Dylan Brooks levels from 3?
Okay. What's he shooting
3 over 28 from 3 over the last 4 games.
3 of 28 from 3. It's not good. It's like 11%.
So are you worried yet about your Lakers and your precious LeBron King?
Okay. Not worried. They're going to win game 6. Not worried at all, not scared. They're going to win game 6 at home. However, Anthony Davis was excellent. Triple J did get in foul trouble. Dylan Brooks did try to shoot the Grizzlies out.
They did lose.
And it was because LeBron was awful. No way around it. LeBron, you're entitled to a bad game. LeBron went like 7 years.
But if anybody else does it.
No.
So this isn't a failure?
Oh, no, if they lose the series, if they end up blowing a 3-1 lead, that would be a failure. Now, it's weird because they're the 7 seed and the Grizzlies are the 2 seed, so it's kind of the inverse of what had happened before, but they were up 3-1. But no, you're not – teams don't sweep other good teams in the playoffs. You're going to lose games, and everyone is entitled to bad playoff games. LeBron spoiled us because he went about 7 years without a truly bad playoff game. Look it up. 2012 to 2018. Someone find me the truly bad playoff game LeBron played. It just didn't happen. But he did last night. He was bad. And he's not the only reason they lost, but they can't win with him playing that way. He knows it. He said it after the game. I'm not afraid to say that. I do believe at home in game 6 he'll be excellent, but this was one of the worst elimination games closeout games, I should say, LeBron has ever played. And by the way, his shot right now is unspeakably bad. 3 of 28 from 3 is horrifying. And it just is what it is. Like, if he's 3 of 28 in the last 4, that means in the series, he's 6 of 36. It's 1 over 6. So he's shooting 17% from 3 in the series. He's shooting 11% over the last 4 games. Shots got to fall, and he's got to be better. But the Lakers are not going to lose at home in Game 6. And I'm not worried about the series. I do think something that hurt the Lakers yesterday was Dillon Brooks getting in foul trouble and therefore having to come out of the game. The best thing the Lakers have going for him is Dillon Brooks playing for the Grizzlies. Furthermore, what?
Nothing.
Well, now you made me lose my train of thought. But the other element of last night that was so frustrating is the Lakers played terribly in the first half, but were only down 9. And then in the third quarter, 3 times cut the lead to 1, had a chance to take the lead, couldn't do it, and then the Grizzlies go on a 19-2 run to end the third quarter and in the game. Just in the game there. So I'm not worried about the Lakers, but that's terrible. I mean, it was a terrible LeBron performance. The Grizzlies were desperate. They were at home. They were favorites for a reason. But AD was good enough to win, and they didn't win. Good thing. But Diorra, you know what that means. Damn good thing. Furthermore, that LeBron saved their ass in Game 4, man. Oh, game-winning, game-tying layup.
Oh, you're blushing.
Next.
Furthermore, we all know you love the Kings and picked them against the Warriors. And I warned you that this take wouldn't age well. I believe that we talked about you being wrong about the Warriors before.
Yeah, we did. What's
the
your
Warriors
point?
went into Sacramento and won and now have control of the series. Do you think the beam is done being lit this year?
Listen, the Kings are in a rough spot.
Yes.
The Kings... Stop it. Let me give the answer.
Okay.
The Kings are in a rough spot. They needed yesterday's game. There's no denying it. My guy De'Aaron Fox, I know Wilds and Brew on TV were like, Nick, you're overreacting to the finger injury. He's going to be fine. He was 9 of 25 from the field. He was 3 of 10 from 3. He started the game out well. He then, as is likely to happen, re-aggravated the finger and wasn't as good. It obviously hampered him. The Warriors won because their big 3 were exceptional. Steph was great. Clay was very good. And as much as it pains me, Draymond was out of this world, man. It was one of the best Draymond games Draymond's played in a couple years. And now the Kings have to go to San Francisco to win Game 6. They do that, they'll win the series. They're not going to lose Game 7 in Sacramento. And I still believe in the Kings. But that was a crushing loss. There's just no way around it. That Warriors third quarter got them. And it's a crushing loss. And now you look back, Harrison Barnes, by the way, still seems, a little like there was a bit of a hangover from that miss in Game 4. And Kevin Huerter has to get going for this team. Flatly has to get going. Kevin Huerter shooting 20% from 3 in this series is not going to get it done. And luckily, if the Warriors do win the series and I'm wrong, the Lakers will be able to take care of them in round 2. But my heart, Diorra, might not survive that series. Can you realize a Steph, LeBron, Warriors, Lakers in round 2 of the playoffs? What that would mean for my health and well-being? Also, I am going to be in Sacramento for what would be Game 7 of round 2. And I yesterday was already looking at tickets for Kings-Lakers in Sacramento,
You would never
Game
expect for you
7.
to be wrong.
What'd you
right?
say?
You never expect to be wrong.
I didn't think I'd be wrong. You were right. That's what everybody says that to me. They're like, Nick, you argue like you don't think there's any chance of you being wrong. Why would I think why would anyone ever argue something that they think is going to be wrong? I've never understood that about people. They're like, you argue in such a way like you're not even considering the possibility that you're wrong. Of course not. That's why I'm arguing the point, because I believe it. I think the Kings are better. But the Warriors are up 3-2, and now the Kings got to win back-to-back games. It's not great. There's no way around it. I'm not going to pretend.
Can't check your phone while you're talking.
I'm not going to pretend that everything's all smiles and rainbows. It's not great right now. It's just not. Next.
Okay. So, furthermore, the Knicks are back.
Okay.
Too bad every single New York Hoops fan hates you. Every single one of them. First, Rodgers comes to the Jets, and now the Knicks won their first series in a decade. As a Knicks hater and a Luka superfan, how tough is it to see Jalen Brunson become a real star?
All right, I'm happy for Jalen Brunson. Obviously, this really stings the Mavs. But let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Because you nailed it. Knicks fans hate me. I didn't want them to hate me. Just happened, organically. Because I did not believe in the Knicks as a serious playoff contender. I thought that that Tibbs teams were playing at their playoff intensity in the regular season, that they wouldn't be able to get to that next level. Instead, it was the Cavs that couldn't get to that next level. And then on top of that, you now have the Bucks collapsing to the Heat, and all of a sudden, the Knicks are favorites with home court advantage to make the conference finals. That part nobody saw coming.
Do you think you owe the Knicks fans an apology?
I mean, a little bit maybe. I suppose that one could argue that I owe the Knicks fans an apology. I don't know what they want from me. If an apology will do it, I'll give it to them. But I'm in a weird spot where I think I was saying what most people believed about the Knicks. I just all of a sudden get tarred as if I'm the only person that thought this Knicks team was not a real contender. I'm not the only person that thought this Knicks team was not a real contender, but such is life. I give them credit. They lost Julius Randle yesterday. They didn't miss a beat. They made the Cavs all of a sudden are going to be in real rough shape as far as what their offseason looks like. And the Knicks are favored at home to go to the conference finals. Nobody could have saw that coming. Nobody did see that coming, but credit to them. I mean, they did what they did. They deserve massive credit. I did not think they could do it, and they did it. And that one, I told Knicks fans when they were all mad at me, I said, listen, they were like, oh, you're trolling for clicks. I'm like, I'm not trolling for clicks. It's what I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll wear it. I was wrong about the Knicks. They had a gear I did not think they had, and Jalen Brunson's been excellent. So I give him credit. Go ahead.
So do you think we're on the verge of a New York sports renaissance?
With Rodgers coming here and the Knicks. I mean, right now it's an exciting time for my friends Pep and Josh and these guys that are Knicks and Jets fans. It's got to be one of the best weeks of their adult lives as a Knicks fan. I mean, it just has to be. So, listen, I give them credit. The Knicks did something not many people thought they were going to do. Even if you thought they were going to beat the Cavs, you didn't think it was going to be in 5. And now, because of the Bucks' meltdown, you're the favorites against the Heat. Credit to the Knicks. Also, I've got the Heat in this series. We're going to try to take a quick break, come back, If you're watching us on YouTube, we may or may not actually be able to take the break. We'll find out together. Take a quick break. What's right?
Welcome back, everybody.
Okay. Welcome back in. What's Right with Nick Wright, episode 146. I'm dealing with our YouTube stream's got some technical difficulties. My computer's currently having technical difficulties. Such is life after an insane day in the NBA playoffs. All right, Diorra, what's our last topic before we get to our game of the day?
Okay, so you shocked even yourself on TV yesterday by picking Denver over Phoenix. You're concerned about the Suns' depth and workload, but this is a huge zag. Are you scared that the Jokic brothers would come after you if you didn't pick Denver, or is this a sincere take?
No, of course it's a sincere take. So the reason I like Denver in this series is and it is a zag. I thought I would like the Suns in this series, but I did not like anything that I saw from the Suns in round one. Nick, they won in 5. They won in 5 against a team. It's 1-1 after 2 games against the Clippers, who don't have their second best player. And then their best player goes down for the rest of the series. So now they're playing a team whose best player is Russell Westbrook and second best player is Norman Powell. And those are close fourth quarters. You then add to it that the highest scoring duo of any championship team was Shaq and Kobe in 01. They averaged 59 a game. Right now, Booker and Durant are averaging 66 points a game. That's not sustainable. The most minutes played in the postseason thus far is Durant. The second most minutes is Booker. The 9th most minutes per game is Chris Paul. That's not sustainable. Denver has home court. That series obviously is at altitude in Denver. All of that massively concerns me. And because of that, I think Denver's going to win the series. You can't win 4 rounds with a 5-man team. That's what Phoenix is trying to do. And the fact that they needed to play Booker and Durant 97 minutes a game combined to get past a injury-ravaged Clippers team, to me, is incredibly concerning. So, yeah, listen, I'm not a big Jokic guy. Everybody knows that, but it's not like I think he's a bad player. I just didn't think he should have been MVP the last few years. I think the Nuggets are going to win this series. And I also don't like that late in games, the offense isn't running through Durant, it's running through Devin Booker. That concerns me as well. Just a lot of warning signs to me for the Phoenix Suns in this series. All right, next.
Okay, so tonight is the NFL draft, just in time for the return of the soothsayer.
Hold on. Before we do that, just real quick. NFL draft. So there's 7 rounds of it. Tonight is just the first round. 32 teams. There's actually this year only 31 picks because the Dolphins lost their pick for tampering with Tom Brady. But it's, the commissioner walks up, says the name of the player that they're drafting. How long do you think the first round of the draft, because it's on TV, millions of people will watch, you can watch sitting with me. How long do you think it takes for the 32 teams to pick their players for the first round? Not all 7 rounds, just the first round. Like, how long do you think the broadcast will be tonight? Give it a guess.
3 hours.
5.5 hours. It's going to be so great. That, with Hawks Celtics on, secondary screen, very exciting. Great television night. Also, this is a rough week for marriages, man. We had an NBA triple header Tuesday, a quad header last night, NFL draft tonight, plus Hawks Celtics. Tomorrow night, you have NBA, what do we have? A double header, plus rounds 2 and 3 in the draft. Nervous. But okay, go ahead. What game are we playing?
We're about to play a game of Nickstradamus.
Yep.
Okay. So 4 QBs have been prophesized. Young, Stroud, Richardson, and
Look at the screen. I love that. That is a great Photoshop for those of us. For those people that have stuck with through the technical difficulties on YouTube, you're getting a great Photoshop treat there. But go ahead. Young, Stroud, Richardson, and Levis. Yep.
Yeah. However, the exact order of said prophecy was lost.
Yeah.
You were able to decipher the prophecy of the prince that was promised.
Yep.
Work your magic again. Nickstradamus, soothsayer of sport, what say you about this year's QB prophecy?
Well, listen, Bryce Young's going to go number 1 to Carolina. It then gets real tricky. It wouldn't be shocking if the Texans at 2 don't take a quarterback.
See Demonze on the
I
tarot
see
card.
Demonze in the corner of the tarot card. If the Texans end up taking Will Anderson at 2, and then a team trades up with Arizona so they can get their quarterback at 3. I don't know if that's the... There we go. Here's what I will say about the my quarterback predictions. I don't love this class. The guy who I think has the best chance to be a star is Anthony Richardson because of all the crazy
Number
athletic
one.
tools. He's not going to go number 1. Bryce Young will go number 1 to the Panthers. I might have said the team wrong earlier. He's going number 1 to the Panthers. But Bryce Young, my concern with him is the same concern that I always tell you I have with these quarterbacks. He's too little. It was my concern with Kyler. You can't be 170 pounds and play or 180 pounds and play quarterback in the NFL. You just can't. And so I think he's a great young man. I think he's super sharp. His college tape is great. I worry about his ability to stay healthy, but he's going to go number 1. The quarterback I would take if my team needed a quarterback and I thought I had to compete with Patrick Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence and those guys would be Anthony Richardson, even though it's a project. Next.
Okay. There's been a lot of bad juju surrounding CJ Stroud after reports of a bad
Cognition.
Wow.
Yeah.
cognition test score and him spurning the Manning camp.
Yeah.
But is this all just mumbo jumbo? Use your third eye to see if there is actually anything wrong with Stroud.
I don't know if there's anything wrong with Stroud, but I do think he's going to be penalized for this by teams.
Okay.
I think that there was, when the Panthers initially traded up for number 1, there was real smoke that he was going to go number 1. Now there seems to be real smoke that he potentially could be the 4th quarterback taken. I don't know that I buy that. If the Texans pass on a quarterback at 2, I find it impossible to believe that if he's there at 12, where they also have the pick, that they're not taking him at 12. But I do think, and I don't know that I buy the validity of it, but that the S2 cognition test and his grade being so bad on it is going to hurt him. I know that he came out and said, I'm not a test taker, I'm a football player. I get that and I respect that. And people that study this stuff more than me really like his processing and his film, but I do think he's going to fall in the draft. I think a guy who some people thought was going to go number 1, now, to me, it seems unlikely he's even the 2nd quarterback taken, and on the board that he's the 4th quarterback taken. All right, next.
Okay. The center of the NFL cosmos for the NFL draft is located not in Neptune, nor at the edge of Kyrie's flat earth, but in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Gaze into the future. Will Kansas City thrive, or will the universe collapse in on itself?
Here's the thing. I love my hometown. I'm so excited we get to host the draft. I don't think it is the ideal location for a mega event. It's not really what Kansas City's built for. However, what you are going to get, the only thing sports reporters like more than Bruce Springsteen concerts is talking about great local food. And Kansas City has awesome food. And you cannot go wrong with the local barbecue spots. Now, our downtown leaves a little something to be desired, but there is great Mexican food in Kansas City. There is the best barbecue in the world in Kansas City.
I'm sure some people would disagree with you on that one.
On what?
The best barbecue in the world.
Okay, well, they're wrong. I mean, it's accepted by anyone with a brain that Kansas City is known for its
Texas is
barbecue.
better. Texas is known for their barbecue.
Yeah, and it's in Texas barbecue and it's dry rubs and their obsession with brisket. It's just not even close. I've lived in both places. It's not either. And St. Louis barbecue stinks. Memphis barbecue, very good. The Carolinas barbecue,
definitely the best one.
Your loyalty.
I'm gonna read these comments afterwards and see what they say, because I bet you everyone will agree with me.
Okay, well, I don't give it. They're wrong. And when I'm telling you,
another one of those things that you can't.
Where
be
is
on.
the best barbecue? Do you think it's not a very widely held belief that Kansas City is the best barbecue in the world?
I'm sure some people think that, but I'm pretty sure it's kind of a general consensus that Texas has the best barbecue.
And I'm telling you that that is nonsense. Texas. Here's the thing. Here's the hot take people aren't ready for. It's not that Kansas City barbecue is better than Texas barbecue. It's that Texas barbecue is below average. It's that if we are ranking barbecue, it's Kansas City 1, Memphis 2, the Carolinas 3. That's the list. And so don't go. Yeah.
Number 1 is Texas.
According to what, Diorra?
Second is Memphis.
According to what, Diorra?
Third is Kansas City, Missouri.
According to what, Diorra?
Google!
No, well, that's just the first as search engine optimization. Because I can tell you right now, the New York Post said the number 1 barbecue restaurant in America is Joe's Kansas City. And Joe's Kansas City, while great, and I had it when I was there a couple weeks ago, is not even the best barbecue place in Kansas City. And they're going to the best barbecue place in the world.
Literally every single place I'm looking at has Missouri as third, no matter who's first and second.
Okay, and I'm telling you right now that because some dopes at some marketing firm in Houston optimized their search engine queries to...
You could just admit that you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. They're totally
every single place
styles.
has Kansas City as third.
Listen.
And first is either Memphis or Texas.
Okay, that's great. I'm very happy that people love Franklin's in Austin. Give me a break. That's
why you didn't say anything when you Googled, because you saw that everywhere said Texas. That's
because I'm not. I don't. Again, I've lived in these places, and
I have too.
Oh, you don't claim Kansas City. You have.
I said I don't claim it as my hometown. That doesn't mean I didn't live there.
You listen. Now, I'll tell you this much. Oh, by the way, what's the barbecue capital of America? Kansas City is the barbecue capital of the world, according to visitkc.com.
Yeah.
What U.S. cities have the best barbecue? Lockhart, Texas is number 1. Give me a break. Lockhart, Texas. What is the best barbecue in the world? This place, Vento Haragano in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'm sure it's quite good, but give me a break.
The top 3 barbecue cities in the U.S. San Antonio, Austin, Dallas.
Yeah, that
Kansas
is
City.
obviously a Texas. Listen, they are different styles of barbecue. We're ending this debate here. They are different styles of barbecue. Texas is all about dry rubs.
No, it's not. It's big on ribs. It's big on...
Giora, hold on a second here.
He's so wrong.
Dry rub is not
a... He won't admit it.
Dry rub is not a meat. It's the way you prepare the meat. And in Carolinas is like a vinegar-based sauce. Kansas City is about, a lot of it is about the sauce that goes with the barbecue, hence Casey Masterpiece barbecue sauce. And Texas is all about dry rubs. It's just not as good. It's just flatly not as good. Now, back to the point of the question, this is why I'm not certain Kansas City is the ideal major events, city in America, because the best thing we have going for us is the barbecue. Luckily, the barbecue is the best in the world. I'm not listening to any more arguments on this. We are moving on. What is next? What is next? Do you think you won that argument?
I do think I won that argument, actually.
Okay.
The night sky is full of stars, but some may be in motion. Astronomers predict the DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry constellations may be shifting. Interpret the stars. Which will we move during this draft?
I think DeAndre Hopkins gets traded. I think he might get traded to the Chiefs. which would be great for him because he'd get to move to the best barbecue capital of the world after living in Houston and having to deal with that mediocre, overrated barbecue.
Like, oh, I miss the Texas barbecue. Best in the world. Maybe
if you're not watching on YouTube, if you are watching on YouTube, you can tell. If you're not, I'm going to reveal something right now. I'm really annoyed. I'm highly irritated. Your brother would never do this. Where is he when we need him? Where's my actual
You think
co-host?
DeMonte wouldn't stand with Texas instead of Kansas City?
I think DeMonte...
No, you know! He would be on my side here.
Oh, I think deep down he might agree with you. But I think DeMonte, much like despite doing the show for a year, never had the audacity to try to do the intros and the outros himself. He would understand that when I am this firm and adamant about something, it is his role as the co-host to lay down his sword. You, on the other hand, just yip.
Realize when you have a co-host, that means that you're both co-hosts?
I disagree with that. I've heard that before. I disagree with
You're like saying I'm the co-host.
And
we're
I'm the
co-hosts.
Host. No, I'm the host.
If there's a host, there's only one person. It's co-hosts if there's two people, which means we are both co-hosts.
Yeah, I disagree. I understand what you're saying many people agree with, and I'm sure if you Googled that, it would come up in your favor as well. I flatly disagree. I'm the host of, like, the... By the way, this is...
You're the dictator and I'm your subjects.
Colin does this too. When he introduces me on The Herd, he says the co-host of First Things First. And always deep down, I'm like, the host of First Things First. Next!
Whatever.
Next!
Okay. Bijan. Sorry. Bijan.
Yeah. Go ahead.
In the time of old sages, first-round running backs were plentiful, but a chosen one has risen from the ashes again this year. Read the tea leaves. Which team will select Bijan Robinson?
This is a tough one. Because it just would be the wrong decision to spend a top 10 pick on him. Not because a running back can't be great enough for, 4 years to make that worthy of a top 10 pick, but because none of the teams drafting in the top 10 are a piece away from winning. If you had a team that no team drafting in the top 9 is a piece away from winning, I should say. A team like Philly that was in the Super Bowl and only has a top 10 pick because of that foolish trade the Saints made. If he's there at 10, I don't think that would be a bad pick for them. Their window is right now. He's awesome. Now it's running backs, so it's not a long career. I understand all of that. But I know there's some rumors like, hey, could Atlanta take him? They're so far away, that would make no sense. But Philly is not. So Philly at 10, to me, could make sense. If he gets past Philly at 10, I think that the Jags at 24, but they just spent a second-round pick on Travis Etienne. That's probably unrealistic. The Bills at 27, if he were to fall that far, that would make sense for them. I hope that the Bills or the Bengals don't take him, because I do think for 3 or 4 years he could be elite and really help them. Next
is...
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
We're done. Oh, okay, sweet. Sorry, I'm still tilted.
Oh, DeMonte apparently has weighed in on the barbecue debate via text.
What did he say? What does he say? Oh, look at my guy. There's my guy. That's what I'm... See? Where you at, son? Can we... I know we're building out a studio in L.A. that's not supposed to be ready till August, but maybe we can get that done earlier.
What did he say?
Look at the screen. Casey's the best. That's what DeMonte said. How about that?
He knew you needed someone on your side.
Well, no, he understood his...
His what?
He just he gets it. He understands all of our jobs within this family podcast.
Which is what exactly?
To make me look as good as possible? That's the role?
Pretty hard.
Okay, quick break, right back. Answer your questions in the chat. What's right? All right, welcome back in episode 146, What's Right with Nick Wright. We have a surprise video from DeMonze, I'm told. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited to see it. Before we do that, though, Diorra, let's read some listener questions or comments. You go right ahead.
Okay, CVM said Texas and Memphis and North Carolina are all better than KC.
Okay, go to Arthur Bryant's, order half burnt-ends, half pulled pork, and what?
Burnt-ends are not good.
See, so now we have the answer. That is probably Kansas City. The staple of Kansas City barbecue is burnt-ends. So if you don't like burnt-ends, this is like being like, oh, all French restaurants suck. By the way, I hate duck l'orange. Like, give me a break. You just don't like the specialty. Like, you guys like the duck l'orange drop? You should have removed yourself from this argument. Like the
veins are popping out in your forehead.
You're really frustrating me. Next question. All right, what's Caleb Sulya asking, Diorra?
With the draft tonight, what picks or trades could occur that would indicate what's in Lamar's future? Could the Colts trade down or pick a non-QB with the hopes of signing Lamar after the draft?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. If the Colts don't take a quarterback, that's gotta alert your Lamar antenna. Any team that trades away a pick in this year's draft to get extra picks in next year's draft, if that team needs a quarterback, that should raise your Lamar antenna. Or any team that spends a premium pick this year on a wide receiver, if they don't have their franchise quarterback set, that should raise your Lamar antenna. That's a great question. All right, next.
Will Johns had asked, what direction do you think the Bucs will go from here?
I think they fire their coach. I think that they fire Budenholzer. I think that this series can get the coach fired. I do. All right, what King of Fedoras?
Okay. Oh.
You got it?
Yeah. King of Fedoras asked, if Jimmy Butler wins a title in Miami, is there a legit case for him? Oh, gosh. Being the greatest Heat of all time?
No. That's Dwayne Wade. LeBron's the best player who's ever played there. But the greatest player in franchise history is Dwayne Wade, and there's no question about it. He delivered them a title in 2006. He was the second best player on a team that went to 4 straight finals and won 2 more titles. It's without a doubt, it is D. Wade. So no, but he gets on the Mount Rushmore. Right now, the greatest Heat ever are D. Wade, LeBron, Shaq, Alonzo Mourning. I think he knocks Alonzo Mourning. Maybe he knocks Shaq off that. Because he would have delivered. Yeah, I think he would knock Shaq off that list. All right, next.
Okay, so, next.
Yeah, Burston Studios.
Burston Studios asks, what do you think the trade market for Kawhi and or Paul George is for Kawhi and or Paul George? They could definitely help a lot of contenders, but are too unreliable to be number ones.
I mean, I think there's a far better trade market for Paul George than Kawhi. I think Kawhi at this point is almost untradeable. He's on a max contract, and it looks like he might have a degenerative knees. Like, I don't think there's a market for him. I also think they're just going to run it back. All right, last one before we get to DeMonte's video. Go ahead.
Okay. Mike Swain said, Diorra, you may hate me for this, but he loves the rating that you give me on the show.
Oh.
And that I've really come into my own.
Oh.
And that he thinks that you're just really proud of me and that he loves the show.
Well, thank you, Mike. And I was really proud of Diorra until about this last half hour. Now I'm just furious.
Yeah, he's been pretty open about the fact I'm not the favorite child anymore.
Who do you think is? Come on. You know.
You've said on the podcast that I'm not the favorite child anymore.
Yeah, but it was like DeMonte's last day. I was trying to
No, it was after he already left.
perk him up. And your mom told me I have to stop saying it. You know you're my favorite.
Okay.
You've always been my favorite.
All right.
I love all my kids equally, but I don't like them
Sure
all
you do.
equally.
Anyways.
Oh, but it seems like Mike wants a rating for you today.
No. I told you. Stop.
7.2. All right, let's get DeMonte's video, surprise video, right now.
That
Let's see.
was my line.
Oh, I apologize. I'm taking it now. 7.1. Let's see DeMonte's video. Go.
Without further ado, yes, here we are. You open it up, pardon my Band-Aid, got a little plush blankie on her, take that off, and then what do you have? You have this. I don't even really know what to say about it. It's just so amazing. It'd be awesome if my name were on there, but I actually hit up an engraver earlier. Got some stuff in the works. We officially have the 100,000 subscribers. You know it's not actual. You don't actually have 100,000 subscribers until you have the plaque. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you to everybody that listens. Miss you guys. Can't wait to be with you guys again. And we got it.
That is awesome. That is so cool. We actually got the
Sir.
plaque. And DeMonte wearing his work clothes, looking all professional.
Got a polo on.
He
That's
looks
crazy
great.
right there.
You know what, Diorra? You were right. He's back to being my favorite.
Yeah, I bet.
We got to 100,000. And DeMonte, don't you engrave that. There is no place
him
on
get
the
it
plaque
engraved.
for co-hosts. It's the host. See,
So your name isn't on it?
Literally is. Says, what's right with Nick Wright. Literally on the plaque.
So you could do the show by yourself, right? Since you're a host. I should just... I have better things to do. You know, I'm really cool. I'm really popular and fun. You know.
See you guys Tuesday for episode 147. Enjoy the draft and the rest of round 1 of the NBA playoffs. See you guys then. What's right?
Bye!
Hey, it's Nick Wright. Thank you so much for watching. Please do us a favor. Click subscribe. It helps my ego, and DeMonte's got a financial bonus writing on a number of YouTube subscribers, so help him out. And also, click the bell. I don't know what the bell does, but they tell me to tell you to click the bell. And if you're audio listeners, people that have commutes, drives, whatever it is, subscribe to the podcast as well, wherever you get the podcast. Same show, just in your ears instead of through your eyes. All that. Check it out. Appreciate y'all.